Off this matchup between the Boréal Vipers. Welcome to the Hawks Nest. We appreciate you tuning in to the Hawks Sports Network this early afternoon, and we will be seeing the Humber Hawks, the undefeated defending provincial champions, taking on the Boréal Vipers, who remain winless on the season. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Manny Kalra. Manny, we are certainly looking at a tale of two teams that are in much different spots in terms of the OCAA standings in this young season.
Yeah, the Humber Hawks coming in here with a great start to the season, 3-0 to start the season off, undefeated so far, and coming in here at home to make it a difficult building to come play against for any opponent.
And that's illustrating our point there as you see the OCAA standings. Now we are just about to have the national anthem play here at the Hawks Nest. We'll step aside and be right back with you for the player introductions.
For this matchup between the Boréal Vipers and your Humber Hawks. At this time, we'd ask you if you would please stand if you're able for the playing of our national anthem.
An exciting matchup right underway. The Humber Hawks, this is, again, earlier in the broadcast, I touched on game 2 of a weekend doubleheader. Manny, yesterday, the Humber Hawks winning their 3rd game of the season without dropping a single set, and that's been the tune this entire season for Humber thus far. Manny, Humber yet to lose a set on the women's volleyball court.
Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of the game here, Humber Hawks like to make this building a difficult building for any opponent or player to come in and compete against. They like to bring the pressure on early. As we mentioned earlier on, they're the defending provincial OCAA champions coming into this building, and their offense is so creative, building the pressure from the starting whistle. And it all plays down from the leadership from the top and on out. Coach Chris Wilkins, 390 victories across Humber Sports, most across Humber Sports in the programs.
Yeah, excellence at the women's volleyball level and men's volleyball as well for the Humber College program. As we see on the right side of your screen, the player introductions for the Boréal Vipers, and in a moment we'll have the Humber Hawks introductions, which will see the lights dim, the fog machine activated, and we'll let Dwayne Bowles give you the business. Now we'll talk about, Manny, in a moment, some of those key players for Boréal. Right now it's Humber Hawk intro time.
number 7, Alex Kerstanisic. A 5'11" right side out of Toronto, Ontario, number 10, Hannah Manners. A 5'10" middle out of Uxbridge, Ontario, number 11, Alex Dubé. A 5'6" outside out of Schaumburg, number 18, Sarah Bindi. Your starting libero out of Scarborough, Ontario, number 16, Miu Larondo.
And there you have it, the player intros by the one and only Dwayne Bowles. Pretty good on the microphone there, man. He's also not too shabby with his head coaching role of the Humber women's softball team. But volleyball is the sport we have eyes on today. Once again, appreciate you watching the Hawks Sports Network, and we're about to get this one underway. Manny, you touched on the Hawks, the defending provincial champions, also the only Ontario team in the national CCAA rankings. Humber is sitting at 4th in the nation, with no other Ontario teams cracking that top 10. So we certainly have maybe fair to say, Humber the favorite coming into this matchup here. We'll see if the Hawks can keep that incredible season start going here, having not dropped a set. Now yesterday, Manny, the Hawks were in action, and we saw some phenomenal work from Hannah Manners.
Yeah, there you see it on your screen. Hannah Manners, number 10, with a spectacular start to the season. In 3 games played so far, 10 kills, 16 attempts, 2 digs, and 2 block shots. Definitely having a season to start, a noteworthy season to start this 2022-23 campaign here, Hannah Manners.
But it's going to be Stephanie Armstrong serving to get things going for Humber. And the Vipers blocked right away. That was Kerstanisic and Manners right there in the mix, and a net violation, or a ball handling violation rather, will award the first point of the game to the home team. Second serve coming up for Armstrong. Manny, Armstrong is one of those fifth-year players, isn't that right, partner?
Yeah, definitely a veteran in the locker room, brings tons of experience. A fifth-year player, has been part of the championships on this roster through and throughout, and can come in any given moment, and she's providing some excellent chances for the Hawks from the serve line.
T-Land with a nice push there to secure Humber's second point of the game. So Stephanie Armstrong will get yet another serve opportunity. A good-looking one at that. And Boréal will have to just get that one over. Free ball for the Hawks, and Manners stepping up and picking up right where she left off yesterday afternoon with a pretty big shot.
Absolute domination on that attack from Hannah Manners, just sending that one down.
Humber certainly has the advantage up front at the net, not just with some of the skilled players and weapons Humber has offensively, but not a lot of height on this Boréal Vipers team, which is certainly a cause for concern when you're playing a team like Humber with a really effective front line of players.
Yeah, and you're going to see number 7, Alex Kerstanisic, come into play in terms of net front presence on the side of Humber again and again. She just provides that extra ability, just like that on that play there. You saw that.
You manifested it, Manny. You made it happen.
Hey, sometimes you get lucky. You got to be good to be lucky, and you got to be lucky to be good.
So a nice run here to start off set number 1. Armstrong will be at the service line once again. Getting that one over. That one almost caught the Vipers off guard.
Yeah.
And a big play up front, but it unfortunately falls just out of the grasp of some Boréal team members. Humber will be up 5-0 now. Armstrong really gets a good run into that serve. Set up now, good block by T-Land. And on the other side, Krstanisic and Manners coming together.
Yeah, once again, the size, you already mentioned it, the net front presence in terms of height and elevation for the Humber Hawks is going to be a key factor moving in, not just into this game, but also the season, as that allows them to get creative and not only pull out some tools in terms of getting points, but just keep the opponents in the loop and keep them guessing.
On the Boreal side there, Isabel Wallace involved in getting it over, but Humber just quickly responding and getting yet another point, and that will warrant a timeout from Boreal's head coach, Brian Welsh. So a good start for Humber and getting the early timeout from the away team.
Yeah, absolutely terrific start. We mentioned it. They like to bring the pressure on for the Hawks. The Humber's Hawks, sorry, I should say, like to bring the pressure on from the starting whistle. Take a look at that replay right there. Hannah Manners absolutely powerfully sending that one down, and with force and domination getting the point for the Hawks, making them go up 7-0.
Meanwhile, it's certainly a happy team huddle on Chris Wilkins' side with a red hot start, 7-0. Vipers still looking for their first point.
Yeah, just a second ago you saw number 13 on your screen on the side of Humber Hawks with the white and blue. We talked about Hannah Manners on this team, but let's not forget about number 13, Erica Dodd, earned Rookie of the Year last year and now elevated her game in this season, sitting in the top 5 in the conference for kills, hitting percentage, aces, and points per set. Erica Dodd, another factor for the Humber Hawks, going to be joining the game soon.
Yeah, Dodd, one of those players that we really keyed in on yesterday, and she was electric throughout the game, but it was really Hannah Manners who was really shining yesterday. She was awarded the Player of the Game honors for the Hawks. Set up to Krstanisic. The block up front careens out of bounds, and Humber's run and Stephanie Armstrong's serves run. Yeah, this run of serves continues here.
And Coach Brian Welsh giving some words of encouragement to Madison Soulier just prior to this play here.
And up next on the Hawks Sports Network, we'll see the men's teams take the floor as the Vipers take on the Hawks. That's a 2 o'clock start time, or about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, whichever comes first. And that time, ball handling violation, the lift called against the Vipers. So Armstrong looking to keep it going. She's got double digits in terms of points from the service line.
Yeah, the Hawks have
10-0 here.
The Hawks have been perfect here and have just absolutely displayed their game style and play to a perfection so far in this first set.
Armstrong setting up Manners, who comes right down on that ball. That's a tough one to return. So for the Hawks, 3 wins on the season thus far, looking to make it 4 with a potential victory today. Krstanisic jumping up, getting the point, putting the Hawks up 12-0 now. So Humber winning yesterday against the Cambrian Golden Shield. And then about 9 days prior to that, their other game against Fanshawe was won 3-0. Opened up the season with a win over the Niagara Knights. And a good effort there to get under the ball, but Zoe St. Jean, first-year player, found that ball just out of reach as Humber's lead continues to grow. Armstrong just grazing the net with that one, but finds a way to get it over. Good hit by Isabel Wallace, getting it over for the Vipers. But up front, T-Land just too strong with that blast through the hands of a couple Viper blockers.
And so far the Hawks have been nothing short of amazing in this set, collecting points from the opening whistle. Sarah Armstrong still control of the service.
Armstrong over to T-Land, who comes down on it once again. Manny, we kind of talked off the top of the broadcast, the strength of the Hawks, or one of them being some of those weapons up front, and they've really been shining thus far, namely Krstanisic, T-Lan, and Manners.
Yeah, the skill, you can go up and down this entire roster for the Humber Hawks volleyball team, and you can look at any given player and they could come in and jump in and have an impact, whether it be they're a first-year student, a second year. It doesn't matter what year they're in, but the skill, and once we mentioned Chris Wilkins, the coach, it's such an elevated style that everybody's tuned in once that whistle kicks in for the game.
Ball handling violation there. Stephanie Armstrong content to perhaps close out the set on our opening service run here. About 8 more points to go. Another good-looking serve from Armstrong. And Manners teeing up, and that one proving too tough to return.
Yeah, already killed number 4 for Hannah Manners in this set so far.
It's all Humber offense here in set number 1. Teed up that one in a bit of a tough spot. Krstanisic is doing a good job reacting. The blocking is all over it, and a net violation will be the first point of the set for the Boréal Vipers.
A little cheer and momentum on the side of the Boréal Vipers, as you could hear from some of the attendees in the crowd here, Matt.
Yeah, the Boréal fans like that one as the Hawks go right back on offense, and a good return there by Isabel Wallace. And sent over the net. So good rally here as the Vipers are looking strong after their first point of the game, and there's point number 2. So in a uphill battle for the Vipers in set number 1, certainly a bright spot here late in the frame. And a nice run here as Wallace from the service line is going to drum up another point for the Vipers.
A little bit of shift in momentum. The Vipers get the first point and have been able to collect a couple more here to get a little bit of run going here.
Laurendale returned that serve for Humber. Big block up front from the Vipers and pushed out of bounds by Manners. So this run continues. 18 unanswered points to start the set. Now a run of 4 for Boréal College. Good serve from Wallace. Laurendale getting under it. T-Lan all over it. Boy, how about the fight from the Vipers? These last few points. Another big block. Boréal really coming alive here. And the run is over with Manners doing what she does best, teeing up a big shot with lots of power, Manny.
Yeah, putting all her force behind that one was Hannah Manners. That one goes off Madison Loisel from the Boréal Vipers.
Now checking into the game, Manny, is Reese Chillette, who she'll be serving to start her afternoon. Bit of a miscommunication there. It looked like Lexine Moyle was going to get a hand on it, but heads up play by Isabel Wallace on the Vipers to get part of that, but ultimately falling for Humber's 20th point of the set. Good setup here. A bit of a soft touch that time to get it over. And Humber right back with not a soft touch. That was...
Yeah, the Hawks aren't wasting any time. They see where they are in this first set. They see the closing minutes, and they're headed towards it with a passionate goal.
Cholette with another serve. Free ball for the Hawks now. Armstrong setting it up to Manners. Nice block. Humber with the second opportunity here. Make no mistake, that time Sarah Bindi, first-year player for the Hawks, showing that she can make a big impact here in her first season with the Humber squad. Lorendo setting up Armstrong to Kristanisic, and that is quite a combo. Those three Hawks coming together for Humber's 23rd point. Manny, we're getting into almost set-deciding territory here, 2 points away from a Humber first set win.
Yeah, Humber's been nothing short of perfect. I've said it a few times already. Just absolutely determined to get this first set in the early lead, and as you see it here, once again, now only 1 point away.
Bindi back in the game, and you wonder, with Humber able to establish a lead like this, Manny, especially in the second and third set, does that allow head coach Chris Wilkins to maybe get some of those younger, inexperienced players in for Humber and see some game time? The set on the line here at this point, and another ball violation will give Humber a first set win by a score of 25-4. Those 4 points for Boréal coming off of consecutive plays where the Vipers showing some good fights. But ultimately, Manny, the Humber offense just swarming there, and that was a pretty good margin of victory for set number 1 for Humber.
Yeah, absolute perfection in that set for the Humber Hawks. They came in with a set plan and set plays, and it was evident from the very starting whistle, Humber putting on an exceptional run to start the set and ends up winning 1-0 here early on, looking to get the second one going shortly and take that one under the belt as well. But going back to your earlier point, one thing about the Humber Hawks, building a lead like that, so you're more likely to see some of the players come off the bench now for the Hawks that have been sitting on the reserve from this game. So more than likely you might see Erica Dodd come in or Sydney Ferguson come in, who have been part of the provincial championship team last year but have not had the time to play in this game so far.
Well, interesting you mentioned that, because yesterday we did not see much of Alex Kristanisic early in the game. And of course, that's one of those fifth-year players for Humber, a veteran leader. So maybe perhaps we didn't notice she had one of those legs taped up pretty good. But yeah, you got to kind of think maybe a bit of strategy. And it's not like the Hawks need to rest any of their strongest players. They do have, after today's game, 10 days off of competition. So a lot of time to rest and recoup.
No, most definitely, Matt. It's not about the fact that you need to rest your key players. It's the fact that about when you have a roster full of players that are so skilled and elite that you can use any player on any given day, it becomes a jumble sometimes, putting up that perfect roster for game time or using the substitutions appropriately. For example, given the Humber Hawks not using their starting libero, Alex LaChapelle today is not in the lineup. Number 4, Megan Hunt, not in the lineup. Two veterans that are very experienced, skilled in the roster, in the lineup, not here. But again, plays to the evidence of the players that are on this roster that can come in at any given day. Here, take a look at this once again.
Yeah, these have been some of those big plays for Humber that were getting the job done. It seems that, some of that hitting power for the Hawks up front, maybe just a bit too much to handle sometimes for the Vipers, and that allowed Humber to really establish, I think it was a 17-point run to kick off the set, and then sealing the deal in the later stage of that frame.
Yeah, most definitely. On the side of Humber, I wouldn't say they need to change a lot of things heading into the second set. Everything you did worked out perfectly. It went your way. Keep the same determination, keep the same set plays or set level of game style elevation, and just go in, try to win the second one, make this a 2-0 game so far. And on the side of Boréal Vipers, try to get that momentum, maybe a little bit more communication, not allowing the Humber Hawks to have that much space on the court side to attack, but a little bit more coverage, more communication on the side of Boréal Vipers heading into the second set, Matt.
And just like that, the teams have broken their huddles, and set number 2 almost underway. This time it'll be the Vipers starting with the serve. And it looks like the Vipers have a lot of trust in Isabel Wallace from the service line. She got off a couple good ones in set number 1 in that 4-point run for Boreal College. Now, Manny, after today's game, the Hawks only have 5 more games before the new year, before that long December break. But certainly a great start for the Hawks thus far this season, and a great start here this afternoon, up 1-0. T-Land with the setup there, is coming down on the ball was Sydney Ferguson. Finding the first point of the set are the Vipers.
Yeah, finding the back corner of the court on that attack there. The Vipers kicking off early and starting off on the right foot, not trying to wait too late before they set their attacks.
Armstrong setting up Bindi, who sends that one too long. 2-0 for the Vipers, starting off here in set number 2. See if the Hawks can turn things around here and establish themselves here. That, in a way, we saw in set number 1. Armstrong setting it up. Laurendeau over to Bindi, beating the block of Boréal, and the Hawks now on the board.
Great play by Bindi there. That was great recognition after the Vipers blocked the first attempt and sent it back towards the Humber Hawks. So great control and determination and attempt.
Sydney Ferguson serving for Humber. And over there for a free ball. Setting up Alex Dubé for Humber's second point. Now tying things up here at 2. Ferguson serve, well placed. Humber trying to get the lead here, and they will achieve just that as the Vipers hit it a little too hard.
And it shows the IQ of the Hawks on that play, realizing that ball was headed out of bounds and just leaving that one alone, collecting the easy point.
Well served there by Ferguson. T-Land popping it up, and that one just kind of slips through the fingers of Stephanie Armstrong. So Humber will surrender a point, and now we're back up tied here in set number 2. Serving for the Vipers is Sarah Plord. Sarah with a good-looking serve, handled nicely by Laurendeau. Bit of a scramble here for Boréal, but they do manage to get it over the net. Let's see what the Hawks dial up now. As strong shot from Alex Dubé is returned. Laurendeau over to Armstrong, and Dubé with the second chance here in this rally. T-Land stepping up from the back court, but kind of hits that with the wrong trajectory, Manny, into the net, and now the Vipers have the lead.
Yeah, just angled that one a little bit the wrong way, but had the right idea behind it, trying to get that one to sink in as soon as it crosses the net over, but ends up sending that one into the net and point for the Vipers.
Another serve from Sarah Plord. And chasing it down was Zoe St. Jean. Unfortunately, it was just a bit too far away as the Hawks have now tied it back up and looking to establish a lead off the serves of Sarah Bindi. Certainly a much different Viper team we've seen here in the later part of set number 1 and here in set number 2. Of course, the Hawks going on a 17 straight point run to start off the game, but looks like Boréal now much more settled and certainly much more in this game. They're leading right now 5-4.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the conversation was in between sets for the coach and the players, but the Boréal Vipers coming into the second set seemed a little bit more collected, calm, and poised. They're not rushing. They're not rushing, and they're communicating on the court, covering all the court, not allowing Humber to have as much space to attack. Alex
Dubé serving it over the net for Humber. And stepping up for the hit was Madison Loisel, a fourth-year player for the Vipers, but it was into the net, and Humber wrestles back the lead and looking to extend that one-point lead off the serve of Dubé. Armstrong over to Talan, and there's a big block, although it does land out of bounds, but a good effort by Zoe St. Jean right in the mix. Unfortunately, Humber able to come away with the point despite her good blocking effort. Humber setting up Thielen, finding the line. That was a pretty good blast there, Manny, as the Hawks lead now growing. Let's take a second look.
Yeah, take a look at that one again. A perfect setup and a perfect attack by Thielen there. And a key thing about that player like Thielen on that attack is you could be so deceiving. You could attack all the way to the back of the court with the power, or you could be a deceitful play and up close by the net.
The cross-court shot for the Vipers finds the inside line. Zoe St. Jean. So Humber, who are ranked 4th in the country, have not lost a set this season. This set number 2 remains close here. A few minutes in, stepping up Cassidy Andrews. And the Guelph, Ontario native wearing number 15 for Humber with a very strong hit, reestablishing a 3-point lead for Humber. Now Stephanie Armstrong is serving. We saw her go on a pretty epic 17-serve run in the opening set.
Sydney Ferguson comes in there with a big block.
Serving is number 3, Stephanie Armstrong.
Bit of a misplay, though. It looks like the Vipers might be able to recover. No, they do not. Humber's lead now 5.
Serving is number 3, Stephanie Armstrong.
Armstrong had maybe 1 or 2 serves in that big 17-serve run where she kind of clipped the net that time, clipped the net a little too hard as the point is surrendered to the Vipers. Now serving for Boréal, Madison Loisel. And Madison puts that one into the out-of-bounds area, just a little too strong. Manny, now we get a look at Ara Thielen serving for Humber.
Yeah, Ara Thielen trying to go for a little bit of an angle serve there, just not able to get that in the lines, unfortunately. But as I mentioned, she is a deceitful player because she does have that power when she goes for the attack, so you don't know if she's attacking far behind or she's going to get creative and just drop that ball close to the net.
Melody Noel's serve maybe came off the palm a bit wrong as it steers right and out of bounds, and that'll hand the point back to Humber, who are now back up by 5. Cassidy Andrews from the line. Hit long, and Andrews' serve will be awarded with the point, and we'll get a chance to see Cass serve again for Humber. Finding that back row of the Vipers. Nice free ball opportunity for the Hawks. Setting up Dubé. Fielded by the Vipers. Isabel Wallace pops it up. And that's set up for Madison Soulier. But it's out of bounds, so the serves continue here, Manny, for Cass Andrews.
Looks like the Hawks are starting to find the rhythm, putting on a run and starting to go on this set.
That ball was riding on the net. It was kind of stalled up. Ultimately, it will be good for another Humber point. I like that, what you said there, Manny. It does seem like the Hawks certainly re-finding that rhythm that they started out this game with.
Yeah, now just in a single point chase to finish off this set.
Bindi with the soft touch for Humber, getting it over. Another chance here for the Hawks. And too much on that blast as Sydney Ferguson stepped into that one, but put it out of bounds. 16-9 our score here in set 2. Of course, Humber capturing that first set by a score of 25-4. And Bindi will put that one long. Back serving for the Vipers is Isabel Wallace. And scrambling for that one, unfortunately not able to return it, so Humber now up by 7 points, and checking into the game in favor of Sydney Ferguson will be Erica Dodd, a big weapon for Humber. Manny, you've been talking about it quite a bit so far, just how important she is to the Hawks team.
Just take a look at that replay for the Hawks, getting that point there, and almost in set range here. And you mentioned Erica Dodd coming in, one of my favorite players on this roster. So dangerous all over the court, and just an absolute monster when it comes to the Humber Hawks roster.
You know who else wears number 13 for the Humber Hawks is on the men's side, Jake Gomes, who we'll be seeing here at the 2 o'clock start time for the men's volleyball action we have lined up for you here on HSN. Now Jake Gomes, just a fascinating player to watch for Humber's men's team. Deadly from the service line. A player I know you'll enjoy watching if you stick around here for game 2 on this volleyball doubleheader this afternoon. Humber surrendering the point. Score here is 17-11. Sarah Plord will be serving. She's in her 2nd year with Boréal College. Set up for Stephanie Armstrong, finding a nice weak spot in the Vipers defense. Now that means it's Sarah Bindy's time to serve.
And the Humber Hawks doing exactly what they've been doing all season long, just being perfect on the court and collecting points. And there you see it again, Matt. One other point, putting them closer to taking away set number 2 here.
So Bindy, one of those first-year players for Humber. Not many. There's only 3 players on the Humber roster who are in that first year with the OCAA eligibility. The other 2, in addition to Sarah Bindy, first-year players for Humber, Ara Tilan and Reese Chalette. So lots of experience for Humber, but certainly some pretty skilled young players as well, which will be a bright spot for the Hawks' future under the leadership of Chris Wilkins. And Stephanie Armstrong securing the point for Humber there.
Yeah, and like you mentioned it, the veteran and fresh comers on this team, it's such a key factor, because as a newcomer on the team, you have those leaders and the players with experience that have participated in those championship games that you can look up to for morale or some insight heading into the tough situations for the game time, Matt.
Yeah, getting close to set deciding territory here. Thielen checks out, and Reese Chalette. So a first-year player subbing in for a first-year player. Something we've been highlighting here. Alex Dubé with a good-looking serve. Dodd sets up Chalette, who just checked into the game. That blast fielded by the Vipers. Dodd going to Armstrong this time. Tricky play at the net, and give credit to Cassidy Andrews, thinking quickly on her feet and securing the point for Humber. Hawks now just 3 points away from locking down set number 2.
Yeah, take a look at that play by Cassidy Andrews there. Just great recognition, tipping that one.
Dodd sets up Andrews, who looks like maybe she kind of missed on that throw. Got enough on it, however, to keep this rally alive. Cross-court shot handled by Dodd. Dodd now set up by Armstrong. Unfortunately, that setup from Cassidy Andrews included a ball handling violation.
Yeah, just a little communication error there, ended up making some incidental contact, giving the Vipers the point. All laughs, they talk about it, they're on the same page, and we move on to the next point, Matt.
Zoe St. Jean serving for the Vipers here, and they're in kind of territory where there's no margin for error. Humber only 3 points away from capturing the set. Armstrong's blast finds the net. Zoe back with another serve. And there it is. Lorendo got the sort of wrong part of the arm on that return, and that will fall for another Boreal Vipers point. Nice run of serves here from Zoe St. John. Good job, a bit of a redemption tale that time. Lorendo is giving the heads-up play for Humber, calling that ball out.
The serving for the Hawks, number 3, Stephanie Armstrong.
And Armstrong, Manny, we've been talking about that run of serves she had. All she needs is 2 here, and that would put set number 2 away.
Yeah, started the game with a spectacular fashion and comes in here at the second set at the right time, hopefully to give the Hawks the win, but unfortunately that point going towards the Vipers.
Reese Gillette got called for the violation there. She was looking to set up her teammate, but just kind of got a little too much grab on that ball. Big blast there. Nice looking serve from Madison Loisel. But Humber responding, and who else? Erica Dodd, that player for Humber who's really shown to be an offensive leader. Now, Manny, just need one player to lead Humber to the second set victory with 1 point to go.
Wonder if it's a coincidence that they gave Erica Dodd number 13, because some people say number 13 is lucky, but when you're facing number 13, it's unlucky.
That's a good observation, Manny.
I wonder if there was a double innuendo in giving Erica Dodd number 13 the jersey.
Now I want to know more about Manny Kalra as we see the second set captured by Humber. What would be your number of choice, Manny? You're on, let's say you're hypothetical, you're on the Humber men's volleyball team. You get to pick a number between 1 and 20.
You know,
what are you going for?
I'm a simple guy. My birthday's July 22nd, so I'm either going to go number 7 or I'm going to go with 22. And if theirs aren't available, I'm going to go out of the blue. I'm going to pick my birth year and go with 93. So those are my three options. But yeah, 7,
I was born in 93 as well, Manny. I didn't realize that we were brothers in age here.
Oh, there you go. Well, it looks like
I feel much closer to you now.
Glad to be establishing this bond with you at this volleyball game, Matt.
What number would I be? Thanks for asking, Manny. I would go for number 16 because when I played football, my number was 61. 16 also the number of points the Vipers were able to secure in set number 2. So, Manny, bringing it back to volleyball now. Enough about us already. People are falling asleep at home right now.
Yeah, talking about volleyball, Matt. Great set from the Humber Hawks. A little bit right foot for the Boreal Vipers starting here, keeping up with the Humber Hawks, but the Hawks, like I mentioned, were able to find their rhythm, establish that ground, and just take that set away and find themselves on the right path, taking 2-0 the lead here, and on their way to steal the game heading into the third and final set.
A lot more fight out of the Vipers in that set, no doubt. You can see the difference in scoring, but either way you slice it, Humber now up 2-0 and a chance to put this game away with another W.
And there you see some of the Humber players standing in the huddle. See number 16, Miu Lorendo, the libero in tonight's game, and beside her you see number 4, not dressed for tonight's game, number 4, Megan Hunt, another key player on this roster having the night off today. And there you see the Boreal Vipers. You see number 4, Madison Loisel in front of the camera. Madison Loisel, the leading player for the Boreal Vipers this season.
There's another look at one of those plays from set number 2 that did ultimately go in the favor of the Humber Hawks. Now, Manny, last time we broadcasted a game together on the Hawk Sports Network, it was the provincial tournament for men's soccer. Now, in that game, you were awarded the nickname Manny, the Candyman Kalra. Now, have you warmed up to your nickname that I've bestowed on you, Candyman? Mr. Hershey Almond Bar himself.
I will say that I did not let you down during reading week. I was out doing some Christmas shopping and I saw the Christmas Ferrero Rocher boxes, so I ended up picking a couple of those.
Hey, all right. You got any of those on you right now, man?
I wish I did. I did. But I will say the coconut one has to be my favorite in that special limited edition.
Yeah, that is. You know, coconut certainly polarizing when it comes to candy, chocolates, but that Coconut Ferrero Rocher, and it's kind of called a different name, doesn't it? It's not quite, okay,
Yeah.
we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
No. Definitely goes great with hot chocolate, French vanilla, or pumpkin spice latte, like those fall-themed drinks as well.
Man, I like the insight. I got to tee you up for some more candy analysis because you could go all day, it sounds like.
What can I say?
You truly are the candy man.
When you love sugar, it's a bad relationship with sugar and candy.
I'm also a addict of the refined sugar, but also an addict to good OCAA volleyball. We're back in action here.
Yeah, Erica Dodd starting off on the right foot there for the third set, getting the Hawks the first point.
Humber up 1-0, and Sarah Bindi will look to make it a bigger lead, but it's into the net, tying things back up.
We talked about it, the Hawks are going to rotate some of the players in and out the lineup as this game continues. You see Alex Christianosic and Cassidy Andrews now getting rest for this third set.
Another good blast up front for Humber. That's really the bread and butter for this team. Some of those players in that front line can really rack up the points. So after a nice play up front, it's now Alex Dubé serving for the Hawks. Again, Humber has a chance to put this game away if they win here in set number 3 in a race to 25. Isabel Wallace playing it well for the Vipers. Getting it over. And Wallace right back in the mix as Zoe St. John sets up her teammate who puts it a little too long. Humber now up 3-1. So Manny, we've seen the Vipers lose the first set 25-4, and certainly scoring much more points the Vipers did in set number 2. You wonder if that kind of positive trend continues here, or if the Hawks are able to just find their groove and make this set look a bit more like set number 1.
Yeah, it's a one-point game right now, and we mentioned at the beginning of at the end of the first set, there was lots of conversation going on in the Boréal Vipers seats or the bench or the dugout or whatever you want to call it on this court with the coach. But when they came in on the second set, they found themselves a little bit more calm, collected, and poised. And right now, you could see it right in front of us, the coach constantly having a chat with the Boréal Vipers, trying to keep them in the game, get them on the same page. But Hawks know what's at stake. They're in reach of victory here. They're not going to make it easy for the Vipers as well.
That time, Erica Dodd coming into frame, doing what she does best, securing a point for Humber. Armstrong serve, well placed. Vipers return it. Madison Loisel in the mix there for Boréal. Set up now, and how about another point courtesy of Sydney Ferguson, as the Hawks lead now sits at 3. Stephanie Armstrong wearing number 3. Manny, you got to admit, number 3 also a pretty strong choice for the jersey number.
Yeah,
in terms of just numbers that you could have on a jersey.
Yeah, most definitely. It stands out. It's one of those odd numbers, and yeah, definitely Armstrong having a great game here.
Good number, even better player. Isn't that right, Manny?
Yes, most definitely. Couldn't have said it better.
Getting a little handcuffed that time at the net were the Vipers, as the Hawks lead now grows to 5.
2-7 to score here, Matt, in favor of the Hawks.
Good blast from Armstrong, and a couple Vipers in the mix there. So the miscue returning that serve will put Armstrong in a familiar position, as she's been able to rack up the points serving here this afternoon.
I was just going to say, a little reminiscing of the first set, Armstrong having a spectacular standing at the serving line.
And the Hawks unable to keep her service run alive with a net violation. Manny, we had the clocks go back an hour last night. Has it messed you up at all?
Most definitely.
It has. In what way?
I come in here this morning, I had my alarm set and I thought I was going to be late, but it was actually 6:30 in the morning, so it just made me feel like I was running late, but yeah.
Well, we did gain an hour of sleep, but yeah, it kind of throws everybody off. The verdict, let's do away with daylight savings time, people. Serving now for the Vipers is Madison Soulier. A little too much on that serve. Erica Dodd now serving for Humber. Dodd gets it over, and that kind of slips through the fingers of the Vipers defense. So let's see if Erica Dodd can maybe channel some of her inner Stephanie Armstrong and go on an epic run of serves. So far, a couple points for the Hawks, courtesy of number 13. I think I jinxed it, Manny.
Yeah, not able to get that one over the net. I don't think you knocked on wood. I think that was the issue.
It's the old broadcaster kibosh. Serving now will be Zoe St. Jean. Good looking serve from Zoe, and set up quickly to Alex Kristanisic. As the Hawks doing some good offensive strategy up front. This rally still continues. So a couple players we haven't seen for Humber today. Kiyomi Ellis, who proved yesterday she is one of the best in the OCAA when it comes to upfront play, blocking. So Ellis, not sure if we'll see her check into the game today. Also noticed Hannah Manners has checked out for the afternoon as well. So the Hawks, like you mentioned, Manny, look into some of the depth on that bench to seal the deal here against the Vipers.
Yeah, like I said, the roster is so talented, and any player can come in any given time that I don't even think it's fair to call it. I don't even think it's fair to call it the bench. I think it's just you call it the roster, because any player can come in whenever they're asked upon, and they can fill up in the slot. And just as we were broadcasting,
that ball was coming right from my laptop, man.
I was just gonna say that ball was
Lord
headed right in your direction.
Let's get the slow-mo replay of my face, like doing like the two for flinching as that ball was coming at me.
Boréal just wanted to make sure you're paying attention from this table.
My laptop has been through a lot between my Foster cat spilling a glass of water on the keyboard and that volleyball near miss. I mean, it's only so much a laptop can take, folks. Dodd stepping up from the back row with an excellent shot, finding the inside. As the Hawks lead now up by 9.
Yeah, that one had some absolute heat on it.
Just like that ball that was coming from my laptop. Service ace from Kristanisic. So she has pretty electric shoes and pretty electric serving ability as well, we're finding it.
Wow, amazing serve from Alex Kristanisic there. You mentioned it, her leg taped up on the back there, but doesn't seem to be a hindrance as she continues to perform spectacularly here.
No commentary on the shoes, though. Not your style?
Well, the shoes are pretty
I like them.
Yeah, they're nice.
Color.
Blue.
Up front at the net, Armstrong with the setup. This time going to the other side as the point is secured by Sydney Ferguson. So another serve coming up from Kristanisic. Up front at the net, that was a good job by Isabel Wallace just to find a way to keep this point alive. And sending it over the net with the lift violation. As that point falls to the Hawks, and we'll get another serve coming up from Kristanisic.
Now that you brought Kristanisic's shoes up, she's the only one wearing colored shoes on the court at the moment.
The multicolored shoes, I guess you could say. Bindi steps up, too long. Another point for the Vipers. Humber starting to knock on the door of sealing off this game. So they have a very healthy 11-point lead.
And just with that, Mew Lorendo is going to come back onto the court for the Hawks.
Armstrong sets up Ferguson. And Ferguson makes no mistake about it.
Great chase there by Madison Loisel for the Boreal Vipers, but unable to get there.
Reese Chillette now in the game for Humber. And she checks in for Stephanie Armstrong as Armstrong makes her way to the bench. Perhaps the end of her afternoon. Great work from Armstrong here to really set the tone for the Hawks early in this game. And how about that for a tone setter? Cassidy Andrews once again on that left side.
Yeah, that one came crashing down with some force behind it. Take a look, Cassidy Andrews just hammering that one.
Set up. Wallace getting it over. Lorendo sets up Bindi. This rally still going here. And the violation will award the point to Humber, who are now at that 20-point threshold. Hawks need 5 more, and this game is over, and they would improve to 4-0 on the season. And a 4-0 start would certainly be welcome for this Humber Hawks team, Manny, who are ranked 4th in the country.
Yeah, most definitely. As we mentioned it, the Hawks Nest is a difficult building to come in and play against, and the Hawks are just pulling that testament out right now, on the way to improving their record to 4-0 and sending a statement to the Western Conference and the OCAA that the defending champs are here to play.
Sydney Ferguson serving for Humber. Some good power on that one. And the block up front, careens out of bounds. Give that point to the Vipers.
And with that point, the Vipers are going to make 2 changes to their current roster.
Checking into the game, Alyssa Plurd. And checking out will be Melody Noel, who we've seen make some good plays today. Noel in her first year with the program. A couple of young players, Manny. That's certainly one thing that sticks out when you look at this Boreal squad. Lots of inexperienced players new to the program, and of course, you know, as the years go on, that sort of maturity and experience you get playing in OCAA games, especially against tough competition like the #1 team in the province, certainly bodes well for the program going forward for the Vipers. So,
yeah, most definitely. You said it best. Younger players coming in that are trying to get experience playing a team like the Humber Hawks, and a couple of players on the Boreal Vipers that have experience are going to be a key for those younger players moving forward.
big blast. That was emphatic as one of the final points of this game, coming off the hands of Cass Andrews. Now, you could certainly include Andrews, who is now serving for Humber, 2 points away from victory. You could include Andrews in that conversation of perhaps the player of the game. She has been deadly for Humber.
Yeah, most definitely. Cassidy Andrews could be in that conversation. Another player in that conversation should be number 3, Sarah Armstrong, from that first set. My mistake, Stephanie Armstrong.
Yeah, I mean, if not just for that run of serves, 17 serves in a row, starting off the game in set number 1 for Stephanie Armstrong. And that will do it. Game, set, match for the Humber Hawks. 3 straight sets for this victory. A good weekend for Humber Hawks women's volleyball, winning yesterday against Cambrian and capturing the win here this afternoon against Boreal. So 2 wins and a good start.
Yeah, perfect weekend for the Hawks. Couldn't have asked for a better weekend to start the volleyball games, keeping a 4-0 record and collecting 2 W's into the win column. And there you see it, a little sign of sportsmanship between both teams as the Hawks now celebrate their victory, improving their record to a perfect 4-0 in this young season.
And we'll maybe get a chance to hear the Player of the Game nomination, as that is announced by our public address staff.
And Matt, there you see the men's volleyball team who are going to be in action, joining for a handshake and fist bumps with the women's team.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting game, Manny. The men's volleyball teams take the court. Boréal versus Humber here on the Hawks Sports Network. That'll be starting in maybe just over 30 minutes time, probably a bit earlier than that 2 o'clock slated start time. For my broadcast partner, Manny Calver, and myself, Matt Hamill, and the whole team here at the Hawks Sports Network, we thank you for watching and hope you tune in to see the men play very shortly here on HSN.
Ha 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 ha.